Hi friends, welcome to Richmond's Place. My name is Rebecca and I'm here today to show you our June 2022 garden tour. Okay, let's start with the backyard garden. This here is my beautiful green stalk, which I have some strawberries growing. I have some beautiful kale growing. I have some cilantro, some more kale. Strawberries are growing very well. I've already harvested some. They taste pretty sweet. I think green stalks are best for smaller plants, but the kale seems to be doing pretty well. And these varieties of kale get quite large, and they still seem to be hanging on. So I got some garden sage here. There's some green onions. This is just some Scotch kale, some more strawberries. And over here, I have some totes that I started a small garden with. And this tote is, I have a ground cherry here, which, well, it's a pineapple ground cherry plant. And these taste amazing. They are so good. Over here we have a cucumber plant. I don't have any cucumbers on this yet, but it looks like I might get some. And the rest I have, like I planted beside all this, is some cilantro growing here. And over here I planted some basil. And this tote, this is some Swiss chard, some rhubarb Swiss chard, I believe. I have some calendula here growing. It's doing pretty well. This looks like a volunteer tomato that started in here somehow. And over here, I believe these are echinacea that I started. And let's see, and these are some starts that I'm going to put out in the main garden over here. I believe these are the radishes, and these are some romaine lettuce that I'm going to be planting out in the garden here pretty soon. Over here, we have some experiment that I did. I bought some sweet potatoes from the grocery store, and 1 out of 3 ended up sprouting, but I already planted some sweet potatoes out in the garden, but I think I'm going to go ahead and clip these off and give these a try as well. Okay, and over here, I have planted some radishes. These are supposed to be early radishes. They seem to be, coming up just fine. And I also planted some potatoes underneath in these 2 totes here, just as an experiment to see if they would come out. Okay, let's go see the big garden. Okay, so over here I have some burgundy bush beans. Seems to started to sprout. Hopefully I'll get a nice crop out of these. I've never grown purple beans before, so it'll be interesting to see how they turn out. Over here we have just regular pole beans. Looks like they're getting ready to bud here. Over here we have some more beans. Here starts my tomatoes. This one here is gonna be a nice looking tomato plant. This is a Cherokee purple. Never had one of those before. Hopefully they'll be tasty. This one's another Cherokee purple. Looks like they're all getting ready to start bearing fruit here pretty soon. I'm so excited. These here are just the lemon tomatoes. I've never had those before either. This is my very long row of a wide variety of tomatoes. Why so many tomatoes? Because they make the best sauce. Cherry tomatoes mixed in with some Romas, some brandy wines, make the best sauce. The tomato plants seem to be doing a lot better now that my husband installed the drip irrigation. They seem a lot happier. The leaves aren't curling as much now as they were. I was watering a lot by hand, so yeah, they just weren't getting enough water. I mean, probably once, I was watering once a day, but I don't think that it was enough. They need constant water because they're planted so close together. So I'm very, very happy that my husband put the drip irrigation in. This will help a lot. So this section here, I have my onions, some yellow onions and red onions in this row. They seem to be doing pretty well. Been trying to get them watered in every day too. Last year I didn't have any luck on growing onions. Hopefully this year will be better with the drip irrigation in, so they're constantly getting some type of, moisture, water. And this section over here is, I got some cabbage, which I'm not sure if it's, too hot already, because they seem to not really be taking off, these red cabbages here. Green cabbages seem to be kind of starting to close up a little bit. So hopefully I'll get some green cabbages this year. In between, I put in some kale that I harvested from, some red kale, some dino kale. This is green Dutch cabbage. Looks like some of the cabbage moths have gotten to it over here. Over here, some more kale. I like kale. My grandson likes kale, so I grow a lot of it. Some more dino kale. Over here we have some jalapeno peppers, which I do like jalapeno peppers. This year I'm hoping to grow enough to make some cowboy candy, because I've heard a lot about it and want to try it. Okay, and over here is my broccoli. I harvested some broccoli off of this just recently. Here's one that's a little baby one here that's coming along. I think it's a bit hot for the broccoli now, because it don't seem to really want to be doing much. Oh, there's one here. Need to get that one today. Now I did hear that once you harvest the main stem of the broccoli, that you'll get shoots from the sides. So we'll see what happens. And over here we have some Brussels sprouts. I did not have any luck with the Brussels sprouts last year, and I don't know, I see like little nubs in there. We'll see what happens. Over here we have some more peppers. Got some peppers coming on here. Got some flowers. We didn't have a great pepper harvest last year, so hopefully this year will be a lot better. Over here is our romaine, which is starting to go to seed, but I'm gonna go ahead and let it because I think it looks nice. And these pepper plants seem to be doing quite well. Look at that, it's just full of banana peppers. My husband loves banana peppers. So we have an entire row of, majority of it is banana peppers. So this row here is some more onions. I believe these are the yellow onions. I've planted a lot of onions because we use a lot throughout the year, and it'd be a lot easier to grow mine than to buy them. Oh, looks like a critter's trying to dig them up again. Look at that. I think our chipmunks, squirrels, groundhogs like to dig up my plants. And I have to replant them. But here we have some beets. I did not have any luck with beets last year. I'm so glad that I have some coming up. These are some red and golden. They're the mixed beets. I mean, if I get just a couple of beets this year, I will be so happy, because I've been trying to grow beets for the last 2 years and have not been successful. So I'm excited that these are growing quite well right now. And over here we have some more lettuce that is getting ready to go to seed. I believe this is the Butter Crunch lettuce, which is really, really beautiful. And it tastes really good too. And this over here we have some bell peppers. I like the bell peppers. Bell peppers I use to cook with and just about everything. So we did plant a plethora of those. We have the orange, we have red, we have the purple, we have the orange, we have the snacking peppers. There's not a whole lot that's coming on right now. Let me see if I can find a nice one that's starting. Let's see. Oh, here's one. This is probably one of the best peppers that I have ever tasted. It is the, let's see. This is the lilac. And they're so sweet. They taste really, really good. Here's some more. I believe that this is the orange bells. And over here is my beans and pea trellis. These are just, I believe that these are just the green, I think this Kentucky Wonder, I believe, beans over here. And over here I have some peas, but these are the sugar snap peas. They're just starting to flower. I'm not sure if they're going to give me anything this time around because it's so hot. They say that peas don't do well in the heat, so we'll see how that goes. Now, let me show you the cucumbers. We have an abundance of cucumber plants. Pickling cucumbers, snacking cucumbers, the straight eights, munching cucumbers. I do believe we have some lemon cucumbers also starting. Curious as to if they taste like lemons or not. We did not get any cucumbers last year, and my husband loves cucumbers, so he decided to buy probably about 80 of them. I had already started about 20 of them, but he didn't think that that was going to be enough. So what we're going to do with all these extra cucumbers, not sure. We'll find something, I'm sure. Relish, pickles, dill pickles, sweet pickles, bread and butter pickles. I'm sure I'll figure out something. Over here, we have some more of the purple beans, the royal purple beans. These are also starting to come along quite well. They're all starting to bud. And over here, some more pole beans. Now I think that one of these varieties over here is the cow peas, and I cannot remember which ones they were. Guess I won't know until they start to come on. But I think that these ones might be the cow peas, I'm not sure. Okay, in this row, we have some celery growing. We're growing celery because I make a lot of things using celery. And here's some more lettuce that's getting ready to bolt. I already pulled out some. These lettuces, the bib lettuce, I pulled out and gave to my chickens because my chickens haven't been able to come out and they enjoy some type of greenery in their run right now. So I'm going to replant with the starts that I have. I got some radishes and some more broccoli starts. Got a lot of starts over there that I'm going to put in these empty spaces. But over here we have some more celery. I hope that these celeries do well. First time growing celery, so I'm not sure how they're going to hold up with the heat, but they seem to have be doing okay so far. And over here we have some okra. Okra I have never tried, but I hear that it's quite tasty and it's good for you. Good for your gut health, I guess. So I will give it a try. Over here we have some more lettuce that has gone to seed and it's going to flower. Now, I think I'm going to try to save some of these seeds because I don't have very many lettuce seeds left, so I know they're super tiny, but I'm going to go ahead and give it a try anyway. Now over here we have some Italian sweet peppers. I have never had one of these, so I'm excited for these to come on. And this section is the gourd section. It's my section. I love gourds. I love pretty much any type of squash that there is. My husband, not so much, but they store really well. And with food prices these days, I'm trying to grow a lot. So I'll show you. These are watermelons. I did plant some watermelons and some, cantaloupes. Honey rock cantaloupes, I believe they're called. And there's probably I think I have 3 different varieties of watermelon in here and just one variety of cantaloupe. They seem to be doing quite well. Over here I have some butternut squash and acorn squash. They seem to be doing a lot better now that my husband put the drip irrigation in. I'm excited to see them come along. And I also have pumpkins. For pumpkin puree, I think I'm only growing like 1 or 2 of the jack-o'-lantern for my grandson and my granddaughter. Give them some pumpkins this year. Over here we have it looks like a couple more watermelon over here. And I just started a whole bunch of my acorn squash, my king acorn squash and my queen table acorn squash, and something keeps digging them up. I have to keep replanting them. I'm not sure what it is, but my husband said he saw some chipmunks out here, so chipmunks and squirrels. They keep digging them out and I have to keep putting them in. They don't eat them, they just dig them out. I'm not sure. They must be looking for grubs or something, but hopefully they'll leave them alone so I can get some acorn squash this year. Here's some more over here. Acorn squash. Lots of acorn squash and butternut squash starts. Got pretty much a whole row. And over on this side, I did start some Swiss chard rhubarb for the first time. Not really sure what it tastes like. I've never tried it. I just thought it looked really pretty and give it a try. I have some more onions that I interplanted in there with the Swiss chard. And the rest of this row here is onions. Okay, now over here we have some zucchini. Got about 4 zucchini plants. They're kind of slow, but it looks like this one right here is gonna do something pretty soon. We'll see. I need the zucchini for my sauces as well. I put it in my spaghetti sauce, tomato sauce. Over here was my broccoli. And some bunnies got to it. So I'm not sure if it will come back. I hope that it will. We'll see. But bunnies are very detrimental to your garden, as you can see. They eat all the leaves. They did the same thing to my cauliflower. So I'm not sure if I'll get any cauliflower this year either. But we'll see what happens. And the rest of this row is my sweet sun gold cherry tomatoes. That's also for my sauces that I'm gonna make. Sauces, Mexican sauce, Italian sauce, lots of sauces, lots of tomatoes. Now over here is my humongous mulberry, white mulberry tree. I've been harvesting from this for the last 5 days, and I just keep getting buckets of mulberries that I'm going to be making mulberry jam, mulberry syrup, probably even some mulberry wine. Let's move over to the potatoes. We're growing russet potatoes and red skin potatoes. Russet potatoes seem to keep a lot better than the red potatoes. The red potatoes kind of went soft and started to sprout quite fast. So the majority of our crop is russets because it kept very well. Let's see, it lasted like almost a year. Potatoes last a long time if stored properly. We put them in our basement in some potato bags, and they lasted a long time. As you can see, they're doing quite well. They're starting to flower right now. We're gonna hill them up pretty soon. Maybe get the sprinklers back here and get them some water because it's very dry. But we have 3 rows. And then this bed over here, we have some sweet potatoes. First year growing sweet potatoes, so we'll see how they do. I wanted to grow some sweet potatoes because They're supposed to last for, I mean, over 2 years. If stored properly, they're supposed to last for a very long time. So I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed, and hopefully I get a nice crop and we'll have some sweet potatoes for the winter. And this here is our small garlic patch that I planted last fall. I was very sick when I planted it and I didn't do a very good job, but this fall we're going to have a much better patch of garlic. We're going to plant them properly, hopefully this year, because we use a lot of garlic. I cook with a lot of garlic. So these will be ready to harvest probably within this next week, and I'll show you what they look like, how big they got. Okay, that's about it for the vegetables. So let's look at the fruit garden now. I'll show you what I've done so far. These raspberry plants I dug up from out back. They're wild raspberries and they are so good. There's some more coming on. I dug up 4 plants in March and I put them out in the yard, and I wasn't sure if they were going to fruit or not, but sure enough they have. But I think that I got last year's canes, so this year, because there's some more growth here coming, I'm going to save these, and I think I'm going to cut these canes off because they seem to be dying back. So I think that these were the first year canes, and I'm going to probably do this entire row over here with the raspberries. I'm going to dig up some more. I'll show you where I dug them up from. There is a ton of them back there. This here is my Nanking cherry, and it did not bloom or anything this year because you have to have 2 of them. We did buy 2, but one ended up dying, but it seems to be coming back right here, which I'm excited about that. So hopefully next year I'll have some Nanking cherries. And over here is my blueberries. I got 2 blueberry plants because you have to have 2. I didn't know that. So I had this one first, and it wasn't really doing much of anything. Oh, got some blueberries coming on in there. That's nice. So I ended up getting another blueberry bush, which is over here, but it's not getting too much sunlight. This bush over here is blocking it. So, and it's a really, really pretty bush. It's a fire bush, I think. And the leaves turn red. It's really pretty in the fall, but I think it might have to go because it's blocking the sun from my blueberries, and I need blueberries. So over here, we're growing 2 grapevines. Seems to be doing pretty well. I don't see any berries coming on it yet, so I'm not sure. I've never grown grapes before, so I'll have to do some research on it and see what we need to do to get it to start producing some grapes. Make some grape jelly. That'll be good. And this is the smaller one. It's not doing as well as the other one over there, but I'll take it. I did give it some fish fertilizer, fish emulsion. It seemed to have done it some good. It was looking kind of puny, so we'll see what happens with that. And that's it for, this is my small little fruit patch that I got here. We'll see how it does. I'm gonna Like I said, I'm going to get some more of the raspberry bushes from out in the back this year and probably plant in between all this so that way I can have enough for a nice harvest to make some jam with. Okay, so I'm going to show you where the raspberry patches were in my backyard, where I got these 4 raspberry plants from. They are back here with a whole lot of poison ivy. And when I dug them up, I could see where the poison ivy was. But I'll show you, you really can't see where the poison ivy is anymore. I mean, unless you, it kind of blends right in with the raspberry plants. So this here is where I went back there and dug up a whole bunch of these raspberry plants. But look at all them raspberries. Those are so pretty. They're big, they're plump. There is so many of them back here. Look at this huge area. Like I said, the other thing that's back here, there's a lot of, is poison ivy. See? Let me show you. Yeah. Lots of it. And it blends right in with the strawberries. So I gotta get back here and get some more of these first year canes, because I can see which ones are the first year canes and which ones are the second year ones. And I want to be able to make a whole bunch of raspberry jam this year. So I'm going to figure out a way to get back there. Maybe I'll find some type of overalls and get back there and dig some up. I don't know, we'll see. I am very allergic to poison ivy. Some people aren't. Matthew is one of them people that is not allergic to poison ivy. He can play around, roll around in it. Not me. I had poison ivy as a kid and I don't want it again. So I'm gonna try to figure out a way to get back there and not get the poison ivy. Oh, just look at that. Just think how much jam, raspberry jam, I can make with all of these berries. Anyhow, let's go see the soon-to-be strawberry patch. Matthew tilled me up some of the front yard with our rototiller, because I don't want to buy strawberries which would cost me to make some jam. That's what I'm buying them for. I think it was going to be around $80 just for a couple batches of jam, and to me it really didn't seem worth it. So I want to grow my own, and hopefully next year I'll have enough to make some jam. So let me show you. So when my husband asked me if I wanted him to till up some of the front yard to put in a strawberry patch for me, I was like, yeah, because we can't eat the grass. What do we need grass for, right? So this whole area here, hopefully will be big enough for a raspberry patch. Now we're not going to lay any fabric down here or anything because, well, fabric is expensive. And we've already used all of our fabric that we got for our vegetables. But I think that this patch here will be big enough. So hopefully it will be big enough for a good harvest next year. I know it won't be this year, but I'll be putting the strawberries that are in the green stalk and its runners back here pretty soon. I'll be making a video on that, probably a time-lapse video. This here is our paradise apple tree. It's not doing very well. It looks like it's got some type of disease, but I was hoping that it was going to, well, it's producing fruit, but I see a lot of it is on the ground. So I'm not sure, I'm not too familiar with apple trees, but I'm thinking that the fruit's not supposed to fall off until it's ready. So I don't know, we'll see what this one will produce. I was hoping that it would produce well enough to make some apple butter or some apple jelly, but if not, I guess we'll have to go buy some at the store this year. And last but surely not least are my beautiful row of sunflowers. I don't have any sunflowers on them yet, but when they do, they are going to be gorgeous. If you'd like to see what we do with what we harvest, tune in for future videos. I'll be making jam, and I'll show you some of the recipes that I use to make with some of the vegetables that we grow. If you like this type of content, please like, share, and subscribe for future videos. In the meantime, look at this awesome view. Oh my gosh. Isn't that gorgeous?